Wow. So apparently, King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think that when the communique came out saying Kate is in the hospital and no, she doesn't have cancer, it was kind of strange because nobody had ever said Kate had cancer. Nobody had suggested it at that point. Why say that? I mean, she could have, why cancer? It could have been anything at all. Why the need to specify it's not cancer? Kate doesn't have cancer. I thought that was very strange. Then it was announced that King Charles was going in for his prostate. I thought it was, prostate cancer, which has a very high survival rate. I mean, Rudy Giuliani in New York had don't quote me. He had prostate cancer, and so he's fully recovered and, had years ahead of him to get into a lot of different mischief. So the fact that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer does not mean that, we should all be pulling out our black dresses. I mean, a lot of cancers today, to my understanding, have a very, very, very high survival rate. That's sad. Um, he looks like his father now. He did look like his father when he was younger so much, but now he looks like his dad as his dad aged. And he looks rather old. I mean, for his age. I mean, he's the same age as my parents, I think he's younger than my father, maybe 1 year older than my mother potentially. I mean, it's like a night and day. Like wow. Like, you know, so maybe he has been feeling not so well for a while. Now, the thing, okay, so that's sad. I mean, and I don't say that to hurt his feelings. I'm just saying that, maybe he hasn't been feeling well because he does look very, very, very drawn, doesn't he? Um, that's sad. Um, the issue now is Harry because William is the heir apparent. He could do no wrong. He's wonderful. Everything's great, and God bless him. Right? I have nothing to say negative about him in this particular video. It's just that, on Twitter, and as I said, Twitter is this very scary place anyway. And my sense is that um, Twitter, I think there are a lot of campaigns on Twitter, like literally paid campaigns, where people actually are paying to have certain types of things said on various channels on Twitter. So there's just so much overwhelming positive news about everyone in the royal family except for Harry and Meghan. It's like Twitter is literally deluged with that. So to me, there's some kind of campaign. There's an orchestrated campaign. It's not balanced. That said, um, I try to avoid. I know I say that all the time, and then you see me making videos where I'm on Twitter scrolling, but I scroll and I make the video. Otherwise, I avoid. I don't. It's just too much. But that said, it just seems like now they're obviously going to twist the cancer diagnosis of this individual, King Charles, to Meghan and Harry. This is not about King Charles's health issues. It's about Meghan and Harry. I mean, they're going to say Meghan and Harry actually caused King Charles to get cancer. They actually caused Queen Elizabeth to die by leaving, by being out of the fray. I mean, even by doing an interview that just said the truth of what's happening in their lives, they caused King Charles to get cancer. I mean, this is the sense I'm getting I so apparently Harry's thinking of flying back to the UK, and I'm just like, what do I think about that? Well, first of all, at a time like this, I don't even know if I should have an opinion. Harry is this man's son. If he feels the need to go see his father because his father is not well, it really isn't my business. I mean, it's his dad, right? This is his father, period. I mean, they could have had the most violent, toxic, horrific relationship their entire lives. His father is sick. He wants to go see his father. That's his business. I have nothing to do with it, whether he's a prince or he's not a prince, right? However, because he is a public figure, and I do have this YouTube channel where I talk about them. I'm trying to think in my mind, do I think it's a good idea for Harry to go objectively? Not necessarily from the standpoint of a son, but just is it a good idea? I mean, and then I'm like, can it ever be a bad idea for a son to go see his ailing father? Um, it's complicated. It's absolutely complicated by the context and by the circumstances. I think that he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. If he does, they're going to say he's only doing it to get attention. He's only doing it to get information for his next book. He's only doing it to go over there to ask for money. I've seen all of this, I've already seen on Twitter in like 20 minutes of being on Twitter. He's only doing it, because he's has a guilty conscience. They're going to, pit him against William, making William this pagan saint, the next coming of Christ, which we all know is not true. And they're going to then vilify Meghan of, you know, God forbid she goes. I don't know why she would do that, but who knows? Or if she doesn't go, either, this whole story is going to become about Harry and Meghan rather than focusing on this man's health and him getting well, and blaming Meghan for his issues and also for Kate's hospitalization. They don't know yet why Kate is hospitalized. Um, but it's Megan's fault. And so for me, I would just keep away at this point. I would just keep away. Um, I would be like, wanting to just leave me alone, leave me out of it. But then it's his father. You know what I'm saying? It's his father. And you can't just be like, leave me alone. It's very complicated. I don't know what to say he should do here. Should he go? Should he just issue a public communique? Either way, he cuts his cake. It's all his fault. That's the conclusion these people are going to draw. And William is perfect, right? And look, I mean, they were horrible to Harry and Meghan, absolutely horrible. And Harry and Meghan left. Harry and Meghan are living their lives, and now things are falling apart in Buckingham Palace, and it's Harry and Meghan's fault because Harry and Meghan left. You know, I mean, I think if anything, if Harry and Meghan were so horrible, the fact that they left should have made everybody's health 100 times better, right? Not land everybody in the hospital. They should be relieved. They should be no stress. I mean, they're gone. They're gone. Why are we still trying to blame them um, about this kind of stuff? I mean, King Charles is a man in his 70s. He's had a life. He made his choices, whatever he ate, whatever he didn't eat, or whatever. I don't know what causes cancer, frankly. But to suggest that Harry and Meghan leaving and having their own lives is the reason that he's sick or that Kate is sick is truly, it's a thing to behold, honestly, because it is just a thing to behold. The power of leaving, the power of saying no, the power of, stepping off the stage and leaving the stage to others. I mean, they have the stage, Harry and Meghan left. I mean, now he's sick and it's still their fault. I don't understand this. I know I seem like I'm rambling, but I mean, these people on Twitter will have you believe that, and this whole thing until he's cured is going to be Harry and Meghan in a negative light in these people's minds. And I don't understand. I mean, I don't understanding. I mean, this woman touches her hair. I mean, it's hers. She touches her hair, she touches her nose, she touches her arms, she touches all parts of her body. It's hers. Mind your business. Mind your business. Anyway, I'm not going to be drawn into this crap. So, yeah, trying to paint Harry in a negative light. Harry is busy. He's going to Canada soon you know, to attend something with the Invictus Games, the 2025 Invictus Games. Harry's busy doing good things. You can say all the negatives you want about him and caricature him and, you know, push up all you want. The more you push up is the more things are happening naturally to dispel all of the propaganda. The truth comes out in the end. The truth comes out in the end. And there are other forces. It's not just us. I mean, the other forces are complicated. They don't get involved all the time and in everything, but there's something beyond us on earth. I don't know if it's God or what you call it. There is something. And that thing has the final say, you see. So they can push up um, others as much as they want and denigrate people for no reason or for no legitimate and honest reason. You have to be, I think, in life, we all have to try to be honest and truthful about certain things. We can't just, okay, it's okay to hate someone, but you have to be truthful about your motivation for that hate. You can't say, I hate her because she's nasty, if you know in your heart that you hate her because you're jealous of her, right? If you're jealous, say you're jealous, right? Don't say, I hate her because she's mean when you know that she's not. Because in the end, the truth is going to come out and be shown that you were jealous and that's why you hated this, whoever this is. It doesn't have to be Meghan, it could be anybody, and that's just one example, right? The point is that the truth always will come out, and I think that in this story I don't believe that the royal family was truthful in the public display of victimhood, of being victimized by Meghan and Harry. I think it's the opposite. I think it's the opposite. I think, and I think they all know in their hearts, obviously, the truth. And I think that, when you know the truth in your heart, it doesn't matter what anyone says or does to try to side with you in a lie. When you know it's not true, you can't sleep easy. You see, you cannot sleep easy. And I think there's some of that going on here because they know the truth of why they hated this woman. They know the truth. And they sat by and allowed the media and the public to vilify her like a bunch of pit bulls. They set them on them, and then they could have called off the pit bulls, but they wanted her devoured, completely destroyed, eaten, ripped apart, and out of here. And so they said nothing. They let the dogs out and to attack, and she survived. She didn't die, right? There was no car crash, right? She survived it. She still looks beautiful. She still has her husband and her children, a beautiful home. Most of all, her dignity, right? And there they are. They have no other. There's nothing left to fire at this woman. You've said all you can say. We all hear you, but we see her quietly living her life. We hardly ever see her. When we do, she's beautiful. And she's just going on. And she did speak publicly, but what she said was the truth. What she said was the truth. Now, you can say that she should not have spilled the dirty laundry and she should have kept the secret about what was going on behind the facade of Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace. She should have kept her mouth shut and played along with the game as you dug at her underneath and smiled in public with her for the cameras. And, maybe she could have, but I think in her place, I would have done what she did is that she didn't want to be Diana part two. And that's what that leads to when you remain quiet, when abuse is going on. It leads to tragedy. It really does. And so she didn't remain quiet. And she saved herself by leaving. And people will never forgive her because they wanted her to be there so that they can have their fun, they can have their entertainment, and they can have the fallacy of, the public facade of what they stand for, right? She didn't play along, and so set the pit bulls across the ocean. We're going to get her anyway. Meanwhile, everything is falling apart in Buckingham Palace. People are literally falling ill, and still this woman who was chased across the pond by these pit bulls, where she ran to find some peace, is now being blamed because she left. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and it is um it is remarkable that these people can continue with this with a straight face to attack this man and his wife in this way. Um, that said, I wish King Charles a speedy recovery. I think he does definitely look very, very frail and very drawn, as I said, very aged, like suddenly aged. And so there may even be more to this than we really, really know. I mean, more to this diagnosis, more going on. There's some serious stuff going on. And with Kate and William, uh, the new king and queen, what can I say? I'm not even going to say anything because, um, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to wish him all the best. And whether Harry decides to go or not is up to him. But that's a very complicated decision. And I'm not sure. I mean, I mean, it's his father, and if he wasn't a king and prince, obviously you'd go see your father. But